Good morning, class. Today we're going to take a look at slope. And as we go back, and this is a concept that has already been taught before, so it's a matter of going back and doing some recall. The first approach to remember that slope deals with the steepness of a line, of how steep a line is. And the first thing I'm going to do is show you how to find the slope of a line when the line is given to you already. So we will refer to slope as slope is equal to rise over run. So that's rise divided by run. Your rise always moves up or down. When you go up, that's positive. When you come down, that's negative. Your run will always move left or right. When I go left, that's negative. When I go right, that's positive. So we're going to look at some lines, and we're going to determine what the slope is by using this concept of slope equals rise over run. Now I already have two lines drawn here. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at these and we're going to see if we can find our slope, okay? Now slope is constant. What I'd like to do is I'd like to get from this point to this point, or from this point to this point without going straight up the line, but I'm going to sketch out a path to get to that particular point. It does not matter which points I select because slope is constant. So if I wanted to move from here to here, I'm going to sketch out my slope. That's the path. So I want to get from this point to this point, okay? I could move to my right and go up, or I could go up and then go to my right. It doesn't matter which one I do, okay? So as I look at this, when I do my work, I'm going to say slope equals rise over run, and I'm going to count. I start counting once I move. So I'm going to start moving from here to here. So as I count, I will move over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that means that my run would be 8. I went to my right, so that's going to make my denominator a positive 8. When I go up, I will count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I went up 6, so that means that is a positive 6. And then you need to simplify. The greatest common factor for 6 and 8 is 2, so I'll take 6 divided by 2 and get 3. Take 8 divided by 2 and get 4. So my slope is 3/4. Even if I had done from here to here, watch. I would move over 1, 2, 3, 4, so that gives me my run of 4. Then go up 1, 2, 3, and that gives me my rise of 3, so I get 3/4. So the slope of this line is a positive 3/4, and look at how that line is slanted, so you'll know the difference in the slant of the line to determine if it is a negative or a positive slope. Now let's move to this next line. On this next line, let's select this. Let's do this point and this point. This time I'm going to go this way. So I'm going to move over to my left and then go up to get to that point. Again, I'm going to write slope equals rise over run. And now I'm going to count so I can see what my slope is. So I'm going to move back this way and start counting once you move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I just moved to my left, so that means that 6 happens to be a negative 6. So my run is a negative 6. Then I'm going to move up. 1, 2, 3, 4. I just went up 4, so that means that makes that a positive 4. And again, The GCF for 4 and 6 is 2, so I'll divide both the numerator and denominator by 2. Take 4, divide it by 2, I get a 2. Take 6, divide it by 2, and because that's negative, I get a negative 3. So the slope for that particular line is a negative 2/3. So that is how you find the slope of a line. When you are given the line, you can sketch out the slope using what we call rise over run. There are a few other things that I want you to recall, because that is what we do when we have a line given to us, okay? Go back and remember, recall that if we have an equation that reads y is equal to a number, that we're going to have what we call a horizontal line. A horizontal line. A horizontal line goes like this, okay? If I have x equals a number, I'm going to have what we call a vertical line. And a vertical line goes like this. Well, the slope of a horizontal line is 0. A horizontal line has slope 0. The slope of a vertical line is undefined. And in a few minutes, I'll be proving that to you as we go to the second way that we're going to find the slope of a line. So we've done the slope of a line. When we are given the line, we've sketched out the slope. Remember, if my line is a horizontal line, it will have a slope of 0. If it's a vertical line, it will have a slope that is said to be undefined. That means it has no slope. So let's look at how we find the slope of a line if we're given 2 ordered pairs, okay? If I'm given 2 ordered pairs, there is a special formula that we use. It is sorry about that. M is equal to y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. In other words, the rate of change will be the change in my y coordinates divided by the change in my x coordinates. Now these are subscripts now. These are not exponents. We're not multiplying. These are subscripts, okay? We use these to label, to identify the difference in our coordinates. So if I had the ordered pair, 3, negative 4, and the ordered pair 6, negative 2. I would suggest that you label these so you won't get them confused. This is my first coordinates. So this is my x, that's my y. So that would be my x sub 1, that would be my y sub 1. I would label this as my x sub 2, and that's my y sub 2. So when I substitute, this tells me y sub 2 minus y sub 1, so my y sub 2 is a negative 2, minus my y sub 1, which is a negative 4. I'm going to divide that by the change in my x coordinates, so my x sub 2 is a 6, minus 3, then we'll simplify. This is where we've got to go back and know our rules for our operations with our rational numbers, okay? A negative 2 minus a negative 4 will give you a positive 2, and 6 minus 3 would give you 3. So that means that this particular line would have a slope of 2/3. That is when you're given 2 points and you want to find the slope, you can use this fancy formula. So let's do another example. Suppose I had the ordered pair, a negative 5, 2, and the ordered pair 6, 3. Again, I would highly suggest, until you're really comfortable, label these so you will substitute correctly. And now we're going to substitute. My y sub 2 is 3, so I'll have 3 minus 2 divided by, remember a fraction bar indicates division. My x sub 2 is 6 minus a negative 5. And 3 minus 2 gives me 1. And 6 minus a negative 5 gives me 11. So that means that I have a slope of 1/11. Now on the next example, I'm going to do the two ordered pairs. And before I do the work, I'm going to graph the line. I'm going to graph the line. So if I had the ordered pair, a -4, 3, and the ordered pair, a -4, 1. Now I'm going to graph these 2 points because I want to show you something. I'm going to graph the point a -4, 3, so that means I'm going to come over 1, 2, 3, 4, and go up 1, 2, 3. I'm graphing the line now. Then I'm going to do a -4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, and go down 1. And I'm going to draw my line. Take my straight edge, draw my line. Now, from what I just told you a few minutes ago, you should be able to tell me that that happens to be a vertical line. Now, I said that a vertical line has no slope. So let's use this formula and let's substitute to prove that this has no slope. So I'm going to substitute, and I'll have 1 minus 3 divided by a -4 minus a -4. As I simplify, 1 minus 3 is a -2. Any number minus itself gives you 0. And you have been taught that 0 as a denominator is undefined. So this proves to you that a vertical line has no slope. So this slope is undefined. So the slope of a vertical line is undefined. 0 as a denominator is undefined. Let's look at one more example. Again, I'm going to do two ordered pairs. I'm going to graph. I'm going to use the ordered pairs. 2, -4, and the ordered pair, a -3, -4. So I'm going to graph. As I graph, I'm going to go to my right, 1, 2, then I'm going to go down, 1, 2, 3, 4, and put me a dot. I'm going to graph that second ordered pair. Go to the origin, go over to my left, 1, 2, 3, go down 4. And now I'll take my straight edge and I'll draw my line. Make sure that lines have arrows at both ends. And from what I previously said, that is a horizontal line, and I said a horizontal line has a slope of 0. So let's do our substitution so that we can see that that is true. As I substitute, I'll do a -4 minus a -4 divided by a -3 minus 2. A -4 minus a -4 is 0. A -3 minus 2 is a -5. And you have been taught that 0 divided by a non-zero number gives you 0. So this gives you a slope of 0. So that lets you know that the slope of a horizontal line is 0. The slope of a vertical line is undefined. So for this particular lesson, you have been taught how to look at a line, take the line, sketch out your slope using what we call slope equals rise over run. If you're given two ordered pairs, then you have this formula that you can use. I would suggest again that you label these so that you won't get confused and do your substitution. Then always simplify your fraction. All of you have a great day.